All right, let's do this. Got my coffee. Got my robe. Got you. What else do I need? Why is the frame rate on this terrible? What is happening? There's like a delay going on. I don't like it. Come on, phone. Let's close things. Maybe I can close. Here we go. All right. Let's see if that's any better. I don't know what else to do. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Tuesday. It's December 1st, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. That was too big of a sip. It was far too big of a sip for hot coffee. First thing to mention, Whistlekick Live is not tonight. We're doing it next week again. Generally the first Tuesday of the month, but given holidays and everything, we're trying to space some things out. And I think, I may be wrong, but I think next month is even the second Tuesday as well. So that'll be next week, next Tuesday. And we're playing with more good stuff. I mean, just keep coming up with more ideas and more ideas and more ideas. So, oh, are we not? Gabe's confused. Well, we should probably talk about this later then, because I had down on my calendar it was next week. But if you've been planning for tonight, I don't have anything going on. So we will figure that out. My apologies to anyone watching. Proof that we're doing our best. That's throwing me for a loop now. So what else is going on? Okay. Yesterday, got a bunch of work done and went to the gym and worked on the book. Halfway done with the book now. Halfway done. 5 out of the 10 chapters are drafted. And I really like where it's going. I'm happy with it. I look forward to other people reading it. I have to post it on Patreon. I've been posting all the chapters there, so I'll get that up there. Maybe today. We'll see. And what else happened yesterday? Bunch of client stuff. Chipping away at a bunch of whistlekick stuff. Proof that Jeremy's human and makes mistakes. Yes, he does. Quite a few of them. Yeah. It's raining again, still. However you want to look at it, it's gross. It's cold and rainy and gross. And yeah, I kind of want to just go back to bed. I don't like when it's cold and rainy and gross. It is unpleasant. I don't like it. But today, it's more the same, really. It's well, Gabe says he's planning on Whistlekick Live tonight. Well, then it's Whistlekick Live tonight, because I know we've got guests, and rescheduling them is way more complicated than rescheduling me. So, I'll be there. We'll all be there. 8 p.m. Eastern, U.S. time, on Facebook. Lost my train of thought. Today, I have an interview this afternoon, and other than that, it's work. Just working, doing some work, workity work, getting work done. Kind of boring to talk about, but that's what it is. And got some upgrades going into the computer, replacement and better hard drive. Hopefully that's well, I guess that's not happening. Am I gonna do that today? Oof. I'm not gonna do that today now. But I will be doing the upgrades to the monitors. I don't know why I'm demonstrating it that way. There's so many different types of content that I'm doing. I need to put the monitors on arms so I can move them around easier. But I'll do that today. All right. Well, being that I'm thrown off, and I'm glad Gabe's here because that helps me rearrange my day. Let me just jump into the questions. Let me see what Frank wrote in for us. Because sometimes you just gotta make a transition. Sometimes you just say, you know what? Let's just. I am off this morning. Sometimes you just have to wipe what you were doing and move on to the next thing, so you can start fresh. And that's what we're doing. We're going to start fresh. And I don't know why I keep getting all these news articles as notifications on YouTube, because I definitely don't subscribe to anything. Well, it's not anything news-like. Today, December 1st, 2020, is Giving Tuesday, which is a nice day. It's a nice holiday. It's a nice concept. And, we're not doing anything as part of Giving Tuesday. Mostly because I think a lot of for-profit businesses are kind of co-opting the concept, and I don't like it. I don't like seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah. So if you're giving, I would encourage you to, if you are able, give to something that you think is important. Give to something that that you trust as an organization to do the right thing with your money. Because I think that's one of the things that people make mistakes with when they're donating. They follow crowds. They do what everybody else is doing with donations, and you know what? When everybody starts giving their charity to certain organizations, quite often it can leave others, kind of out in the cold. There are some organizations, I've seen little bits today, that have matching programs set up with certain people, and just check it out. And if today's not the right day for you to give, you can give any day. It doesn't have to be today. There's no magic about giving today. Charitable donation is a charitable donation. So, we have 5 quotes today about giving. First one: no one has ever become poor by giving. Anne Frank. Now here's the interesting side to giving. It can be, instinctively you might think, okay, I don't have much. I have to hold on to what I have. And there's some truth in that. I got crusty in my eye. But anybody who knows from experience about giving knows that it comes back around. And you can try to apply science to it, or you can talk about it as the principle of reciprocity, or metaphysics, or anything like that. But the fact remains, when you give, somehow it works out. I give quite a bit, more so time than anything else. And it's really been beneficial. Good morning, Emmett. And sometimes it's hard to sometimes it's hard to define how giving is beneficial. If you're a martial arts instructor, there's a good chance that you understand what I'm talking about. Most martial arts instructors are giving far more time than they're paid for. And the benefits that they receive are far broader, greater than the money that they take out. Emmett says, great to catch you on YouTube. I'm usually listening to your podcast in the car. Well, glad to see you here. What is the noise I'm hearing? There's some noise going on in the background. I'm sure you can't hear it. Let's go to the next one. Remember that the happiest people are not those getting more, but those giving more. Jackson Brown. I don't know what to phrase this. Getting more is kind of temporary. Right? Somebody gives you a gift, you're happy. You're happy maybe in the moment, maybe you're happy for a little while. But when you give, you feel good. Feel good for a while. And I'm not talking about, liquidating your assets and giving everything you have. But let's imagine you have $5 in your pocket. You could buy a cup of coffee, maybe a snack. You could invest it, right? Minimal return, minimal value coming back. It's $5. But what if there's a panhandler on the street, somebody working hard, try to make some money. You throw your $5 in their guitar case, and they smile, and you remember it, and you think about it a few more times. How much more do you get out of that? Are you going to think about that cup of coffee again, or that snack? Probably not. We're all connected. We're all responsible for each other. We all have opportunities to benefit each other. And whether you're giving time or you're giving money or you're giving gifts, there's a lot of value in giving. Giving can be selfish. But the best kind of giving comes from a simple place of wanting to help, of wanting to do something that you can to help others. There are a number of friends who I've helped via you see the posts on Facebook, they come up, it's like, so-and-so's raising money for such and such, I'll donate when I can, or when I agree with the cause, or when I see it, right? Like, it's not every time, it's sometimes. But it's always anonymous. They might see it, that's fine. But I don't need people to know that I give. I don't give so that other people know I give. It's not, I don't care. I don't care if anybody knows. It's between me and the person asking and the organization or the cause or whatever. Since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a good deal of thought into the happiness that you are able to give. Daniel's in the chat. I'm a big fan of keeping some granola bars in the car for homeless. Yeah. And I think that the most important part there is there's intent there, right? You're putting those granola bars in the car. There's intent. You've made an effort to give, and I'm sure when you give them out, that is on some level understood and appreciated. Let me read that one again. Since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a good deal of thought into the happiness that you're able to give. And that kind of lines up. Preparing to give, forethought in giving. Good things. These are good things. I like giving gifts. I like finding perfect gifts. There are gifts I'm thinking of right now, gifts that I've given to people who are no longer in my life, that I know how much joy those gifts brought them. I'm thinking of one in particular, probably the best gift I've ever given. This person is not in my life anymore, and I am fairly sure that, in fact, I'd bet money that she still has that gift. And I'm sure it brings her a lot of joy when she sees it. Not because of me, but because of the rest of the story behind it. Since Hammett says, I'm a huge believer in starting each day with a smile and some positivity with the hope of making someone else smile. Yeah, what else do you really have? We have an ability to try to make the world a little bit better. I would argue a responsibility to do so. And the more people that do that, the more joy we'll take out of it. It's simple, but it's not easy. We must give more in order to get more. It is the generous giving of ourselves that produces the generous harvest. Orison Swett Marden. Somehow, the more we give, the more comes back. The more time you give to people, the more they're going to give to you. The more, let's say, energy you put into others, the more others will put into you. One of the mistakes that we make in Western society is we often think that it's directly reciprocal. If I put a lot of energy into you, that I'm going to get it back from you, but that's not how it works. Sometimes it works. I give to you, you give to somebody else, they give to somebody else, and it goes who knows how many steps before it comes back to me. And that's okay. If you give with the expectation of receiving, it's not giving. This is something that frustrates me about the way some people give gifts. If you give me something, and let's say you give me a birthday gift, and let's say I don't write you a thank you note. This is a real scenario that's happened to me multiple times. And you get mad about it. That wasn't a gift. That was a trade. That was you saying, I'm going to trade you this gift for a thank you note. To give is to not be attached to anything coming back. It's to hone in on the feeling you have in giving it. And if you don't feel that feeling, if there's something that's got to come back out of it, it's not a gift. And maybe you shouldn't give it. Or maybe you should understand why you're expecting something in return. Sometimes people give gifts as leverage. Well, I gave you that, now you owe me. That's not a gift. It's an obligation. Don't give an obligation. We've got one more. From Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. What would the world look like without giving? It'd be pretty rough, pretty selfish. No gifts of time, no gifts of sharing, of presence. Be lonely, be sad. But we don't live in that world, and I'm glad we don't. Oh, good stuff. Thank you as always to Frank for making sure I have things to talk about. I appreciate it. It is Giving Tuesday. If you have the opportunity to give to something or someone that is important to you, I hope you will. And if you don't, that's okay. Don't let everyone browbeat you or make you feel guilty. I believe strongly that we all give what we can when we can. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of encouragement, but we've all got different reasons for giving. None of them are wrong. I will see you, hopefully, all of you, for Whistlekick Live tonight, 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Facebook. And we continue to improve that show, and that's all due to Gabe, because as you can see, I don't even keep the schedule straight. We got some guests coming on tonight. It is a very long-term effort towards a show idea that my brother came up with years ago called Whistlekick After Dark. So we're slowly moving in the direction of your evening programming. But instead of putting it on 11 o'clock at night because I'm in bed, we do it at 8. So I'll see you there. And if you have questions, you have comments, you have something that you want to contribute to this show here, first up, make sure you leave it in the comment section once we close the show, and I'll read it tomorrow, because we do the show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, here on YouTube. And if you can, hit the thumbs up, give us that like. If you're new, subscribe, turn on notifications. And if you want to support the work that we do here at Whistlekick, you can go to whistlekick.com, buy something, use the code FIRSTCUP15, or you can contribute to the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. We're putting new content in there all the time, exclusive content. For example, the book that I'm working on, which doesn't even have a title yet, but throwing stuff in there, and depends on the tier as to what you get, but keeps growing, so we must be adding value. I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you back here tomorrow if I don't see you tonight. Peace.